It's on? Good morning, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. I want to welcome everybody to my home and for the second annual Tawheed Conference. And with that said, I'm going to bring on the floor immediately Hamza, Abdul, Malik.
Well, that was a nice quick introduction, even though I don't have any titles, any background or anything, so maybe you just did a little more, but just Hamza might have been good enough. Anyway, again, thank you for everyone that came out, as the brother just announced, and as you see here on the chart, this is our second annual Tawheed Conference. Tawheed, by Tawheed we mean the unicity of Allah, of God, what is also known as monotheism. And this concept started with us actually 3 years ago. We had made a trip down to Maryland to visit some of our brothers who are here to kind of like bond with them, brotherhood, fellowship, and we had such a good time in our discussion and socializing and so forth, we decided to do it another year. But the next time we did it with more of a purpose, and that purpose was to specifically discuss issues surrounding our belief as Muslims. And so we thought there was no greater issue or concept that we could discuss greater than the concept of Tawheed. So we named that the Tawheed Conference, and that's what that sign there brought about. And so now this is the second time that we're meeting for that purpose, although it's the third time that we have gathered. Instead of Maryland, we're here in New York, in Roosevelt, at our brother Tariq's home, and we thank him for allowing us to use that. So now, let's get started. I want to show, first of all, if we're going to discuss things as Muslims, we should know what is the source of guidance. Where should we discuss things from? What should be the source? As a Muslim, speaking about God, what source or sources should we use? And so therefore we thought, rather than to start the discussion with the concept of Tawheed, which is the whole theme of the meeting here, we thought before we talk about Tawheed, let's see, where should we talk about Tawheed from? What source? Should it be from the Quran as Muslims? Should it be from the Hadith? Should it be from the Tafsir books? Should it be from the fiqh books, the Sirah books, the Hidayah books? What books should we use? And so we want to find that out. And so here we have the source of guidance. Guidance in Arabic is Huda, Al-Huda. And we want to talk about that verse, chapter 20, verse 49 and 50. Those verses there. We'll start this way. Pharaoh said, "Who is your Lord, O Moses?" He said, "Our Lord is he who gives to everything his creation, then guides." Who is your Lord, O Moses? Our Lord is he who gives to everything his creation, then he guides it. So we see from that Allah has created everything that exists. He brought everything into existence. The last thing he does as a ni'mah, or as a favor to his creation, is to provide guidance for it. Because he can bring everything into creation and it just be stagnant, without purpose, without any function. So everything has a function. Everything has its law that governs it, how it acts, and it acts accordingly. So that's the guidance of Allah. So that's what Allah is doing consistently now. Guiding through his laws, not hands-on. He's not hands-on like you're driving a car. He's guiding it. He has an automatic guiding system. He's got it on cruise control, if you want to say that. And he's guiding. And the way that he's guiding us is through his revelation that he has revealed. And this is what we want to find out exactly what that entails. What is the source of guidance? Definition, guide. What does it mean to guide? One that leads or directs another's way. A person who exhibits and explains points of interest. Something that provides a person with guiding information, like a signpost rather. A person who directs another's conduct or course of life. That's what a guide is. A guide. So, for this presentation, our concern is with the term Hudan, or right guidance. We don't want just any kind of guidance, because anybody can guide, any kind of way. We want right guidance. By right guidance, I mean guidance that will guide us as human beings in this life back to our Creator, back to Him. We came from Him. We want to be guided back to Him. Get back to Him safely and sound. So we are concerned with right guidance. And we want to be concerned with Hadi, who is the guide or the leader. We want to be concerned with Muqtadi, who are the rightly guided ones. And we want to be concerned with Ahda, is there any chance of us being better guided? Better guided. So, right guidance, the guide or the leader, who should that be? Rightly guided, who are they? And is there a chance that we can still be better guided? All that's going to fall under the category of guidance. Now, a note of interest. Guide, when you talk about guide, it implies intimate knowledge of the way of truth and the way of falsehood, and of all its difficulties and dangers. If a person is going to guide you, he can't just know one way. He has to know the other way. He has to know what is right and what is wrong. I can go this way, no, don't go this way. Well, why not go that way? Because of this. Why go this way? Because of that. I know the intricacies about both ways. So a guide has to know that. Not only that, a guide cannot himself have been guided. You see, he has to be the one who knows the guidance in terms of what we're talking about without himself having been guided. Now, in the Quran, chapter 90, verse 7 to 10. Does he think that no one sees him? We're talking about man. Have we not given him 2 eyes, and a tongue, and 2 lips, and pointed to him the 2 conspicuous ways? Have we done that for him? Haven't we given man 2 eyes, 2 lips, and we pointed out to him the 2 conspicuous ways, the right way and the wrong way? That's been pointed out to you. Again in the Quran, chapter 91, verse 7 and 8. And the soul in its perfection. So he reveals to it its way of evil and its way of good. Allah has revealed that to you, inspired within you, within your own DNA, so to say. The idea of what is right and what is wrong. You know inherently right from wrong. You know that. He has revealed that within yourself. Now, the question is, what exactly is the source of guidance for Muslims? And why should a Muslim need to ask this question? What is the source of guidance for Muslims? And why would a Muslim have to ask this question? We said life is a 2-party system. You know, in the politics of this country, you have the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, the Independent Party, the Tea Party, and various other fringe parties, everybody jockeying for position. But in Islam, there's only two parties. Two parties. Quran chapter 5 verse 56. And whoever takes Allah and his messenger and those who believe for friends, surely the party of Allah, they shall triumph. The party of Allah. Hizbullah. The party of Allah. Whoever takes Allah and the believers for friends, they will triumph. In the Quran chapter 58 verse 19, the devil has gained mastery over them. So he has made them forget the remembrance of Allah. They are the devil's party. Now surely the devil's party are the losers. You see? Hizbul Shaitan. You see? So we have the two-party system. The party of Allah that surrenders and submits and does God's will, and the party that rejects that and follows Shaitan. There's only two parties. We would need to know which party we are of. And that's for all of mankind. All of mankind is involved in this two-party system when it comes to God. When it comes to your own man-made systems and politics, you have all these different parties. But when it comes to God, for humanity, there's only two parties. About these two parties, we are told in the Quran chapter 7 verse 30. You can see, right? I'm not blocking it. About these two parties, we're told in Quran chapter 7 verse 30. A party he has guided, and another party perdition is justly their due. Surely they took the devils for friends instead of Allah, and they think that they are rightly guided. There's people who think that they're rightly guided. They have taken the devils for friends other than Allah, yet they think that they're rightly guided. You walk out the door, walk outside, walk out into the world, and you'll meet all kinds of different people from different persuasions, talking about God and believing in God, and each one professes with his theology, with his doctrine, that he is rightly guided. He thinks that he's rightly guided, even though it contradicts this guy over here, who thinks he's rightly guided, who contradicts this guy over here, who thinks he's rightly guided. So all these different contradictions that each one thinking that they're rightly guided, somebody has to be wrong. Either they're all wrong, or there can only be one right out of all of that. They can all be wrong, but only one can be right. So they think that they're rightly guided. In the Quran chapter 43, 36 to 37, and whoever turns himself away from the remembrance of Allah, the remembrance of the beneficent. When you turn yourself away from the remembrance of the beneficent, we point for him a devil. So he is his associate. And surely they hinder them from the right path. And they think that they are rightly guided. They think that they are rightly guided. So when you turn yourself from the remembrance of Allah, when God is no longer in your thinking, in your mind, in your aspirations, and you're not seeking Him, seeking His desires, seeking His will, seeking truth about Him, seeking to understand who He is. When you no longer desire that, then automatically you have turned. And when you turn from Him, you turn to something else. You just don't turn into a vacuum. You turn from to. You turn to something else. And so you have taken the devil for a friend. You have turned to him, and you think that you are rightly guided. You think that you're rightly guided. So now Allah sets the stage for His guidance. So we want to go way back as far as we can to see how the guidance started in the first place. So Allah sets that stage for us. In chapter 2, verse 38. When we're talking about this story, and most of us here, Muslims, we've already read this, we know it, and anything that I'm showing here, I'm quoting to you text. Some people will say, well, brother, you're quoting that out of context. Well, that's what a quote is. A quote is a text that's quoted out of context. That's a quote. So that's what I'm doing. I put quotation marks around it. Now, you can go back in your own spare time and check the context to see if the sense of what I'm saying is in conjunction with the context. Because if I'm quoting something out of context and it's misstating the text, then you can blame me. But if it's when you read back and you say, well, that's what he said, that was true, even though he didn't quote all of it, the point he made is true, well, then that's all we're doing here. We're not going to read a whole book to give you, sometimes I used to take some friends of mine and I said, well, look, read chapter so and so and so. They said, well, let me just restart it, begin and read. Then maybe you got 20 to 30 verses to read. I just asked them to read one, but they want to make sure that they read the whole thing, kill time and all that, and waste time. I was saying, no, when you got to that, didn't change nothing. So we want to see. So now, God says here, in this stage of life, the beginning in paradise, wherever, whatever condition that was. We said, go forth from this state, all. Surely there will come to you. Something's going to come to you. What? A guidance from who? From me. Guidance is going to come to you, humanity. It's going to come to you. You don't have it. It's going to come to you. From where? From me. It's going to come from me, not from yourself. You're not going to germinate it yourself. You're not going to manufacture it yourself. It's going to come to you from me. From me. Then, whoever, I don't care who it is, of humanity, whoever, and not Muslim, Jew, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, whoever of humanity, whoever follows what? My guidance. My guidance. No fear comes upon them, nor shall they grieve. So, get out of this condition. God is setting the stage for humanity, putting humanity out into the world, and telling them that guidance is going to, you're going to be out there stumbling and bumbling around, but guidance is going to come to you from me, and whoever of you follows my guidance, there'll be no grief, no fear. So we have to wonder, well, who's going to bring that guidance? Is God going to come and say, well, hello, wow, God. He says, yeah, I told you I was going to come and bring the guidance. No, it's not like that, I don't think, but we'll see. Maybe it might be, but we'll see. It's going to come to them. In the Quran, chapter 7, verse 35, O children of Adam, if, this is the condition, this is a conditional clause, if this happens, then this has to be the result. If it doesn't, then whatever follows doesn't matter. But if this happens, then the results is after that. So this is a conditional clause. O children of Adam, if messengers come to you from among you, relating to you my messages, not theirs. Messengers come to you from among you, not get just running off and talking, relating to you my messages, that they'll have my messages, they got it from me, my messages. Whosoever guards against evil and acts aright, they shall have no fear, nor shall they grieve. So look, we're starting right off at the top. Now right away, if we stop this lecture right now, for anybody who has common sense, anybody who uses their common sense, and I'm sure all of us in here, we have that, would say, wow, you don't have to go any further. We know the source of the guidance. The source of the guidance is God. He just put everybody out without no guidance and told them that none of y'all ain't got no guidance, none of you, and guidance is going to come to you from me. And then he now qualifies it by saying messengers. That's how you're going to get it. You're going to get the message through a messenger. A messenger brings a message. You see? So now when he brings you the message that he got from me, if you follow that message, not the messenger, don't follow him, follow the message, then you have no problem. Don't get caught up in the messenger. So, wow, the messenger came, oh, wow, look at you, a nice guy. Oh, what do you do for a living? Yeah, well wow, can we, you should be this, and you should set up something over here, and you should be doing this. And so the messenger gets all caught up in that, and he says, wow, you got a point. I can make more money by doing my own thing. I set up my own thing. He didn't pay me enough to do this. I set up my own shop and I do my own stuff now. And then branch off until you got a lot of different messenger shops all over the place with different messages. No, not like that. So here, messages come to you, reciting to you my messages. Important. Now, Adam was the first to receive guidance. Whomever Adam was, well, that's not our issue. First man or mankind, we're not interested in that in this discussion, but we'll just use Adam for now. Adam was the first to receive guidance. Quran chapter 20, verse 122 to 124. Then his Lord chose him, so he turned to him and guided. He said, now he's putting that stage, the same thing we just read in brief. He's giving a little more details about that setting the stage. We just read it in brief in 238 and 735. We just read it in brief. Now Allah's giving a little more details here. He said, go forth here from both, all. One of you is an enemy to the other. So there will surely come to you guidance again from me, that whoever, doesn't matter, follows what my guidance, he will not go astray. He will not be the law. He will not be the law. You see, I don't like to be a lady while balling. We don't want to be the law. So if you do this, you won't have to worry about being the law. Your prayer will be answered. You don't have to ask anymore. It's the prescription right away. You don't say, oh Lord, don't let us be the law. He already told you what to do. So look, I told you, well, don't let me get lost. Well, I told you, go straight and turn right. Oh, brother, you sure? Don't let me get lost. I'm going straight, like you said. Yeah, but when you get there, you turn right. Simple as that. So now, 124. And whoever turns away from my reminder, him is surely a straight life. For him is surely a straight life, and we shall raise him up blind on the day of resurrection. On the day of resurrection. I think notice there's something that happened right here. You see, Allah knows the choice of words. He says if the oceans were ink and the trees were pens, they could not exhaust his words. He has more words than you could have comprehension for his words. He said if he was to give you his favor, you couldn't number them. Even all the calculators and all the stuff that you got in the world, they just explode. They cannot carry the number for the favor that he's giving you. So he knows words. He says he makes the truth to be the truth by his words. But look how he used words here. Look. He says, surely there will come to you guidance from me. Whoever follows my guidance, Huda, he will not go astray, following the Huda. But whoever turns away from my dhikr, now the word here is turned into this, reminder. So the guidance is also the reminder. And the reminder is the guidance. You see, interchangeable words. So the Quran is called Al-Huda. The Quran is called Al-Dhikr. Both terms. So Allah is letting you know that both terms is what's going to be the result of what this is. If you follow the guidance, no problem. If you turn away from the reminder, you forget. You're not remembering, you see. You're not remembering, then problem for you. Quran is Al-Huda in chapter 2, verse 185. Quran is Al-Dhikr in chapter 15, verse 9. There's the attributes of that Quran. Now, let's look now at Al-Fatiha, because now the people that have been dispersed out into the world, we have the first indication that they are pleading to God for guidance. They're asking God for guidance. It's the first indication we get in the Quran that these people who've been dispersed and set the stage for creation, that they finally, at some point, God has now recorded their request for guidance. And I'm saying this, the or a. The or a, because it could be independent or it could be group. The or a Muslims' request for guidance. Why don't I say Muslims' request for guidance? It said for guidance, it seemed like it would be the unbelievers wanting to be guided. Why would it be the Muslims? Well, look at what it says. It says, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. So now you know the Fatiha. It says, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Who would be saying that? That wouldn't be a person who doesn't know anything about God saying all praise is due to God. He would have to know that. The person would have to at least know all praise is due to God. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. He knows a couple of his attributes. That person already knows that. That's the person who's making this petition. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Look at that. He's saying, you alone do we serve, and you alone we beseech for help. He's already doing that. The person is already doing it. The person is already a monotheist. He's already serving God alone. He's already trusting God alone. It says, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. You're the one. The person who's asking in Fatiha is already a servant of God. He's already submitted. You see? So I'm saying he's a Muslim. I'm not saying he's a believer because he's asking for guidance. You see? The believer has already got the guidance. This person is asking for guidance, perhaps to be better guided. To be better guided. Now he says, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. He doesn't want just any kind of guidance. He's specific now. He wants to be guided the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Now the word Sirat, I'm not a grammarian, but I can know that this word here is singular. Sirat is never plural. It's not paths. It guides us the path, the straight paths. There's nothing like that. It's one path. It's one path that they want to be guided, and that path is mustaqim from kawamun. That means that path that is established. It's in place. It's not going to change. It's sound. It's sturdy. It's always going to be there. So that's the path we want. The kawamun, the qiyam. So now, we have to ask some questions about this to make sure we understand what's going on. Who is the petitioner? You see? Who is the petitioner? So I got right here, and I'll just announce it for the camera. You don't have to maybe try to pinpoint it. Who is the petitioner? That's going to be found in chapter 40 of the Quran, verse 60. Chapter 40, verse 60. Who the petitioner is. Who is being petitioned? That is already right there in chapter 1, verse 1. Alhamdulillah, Rabb Alameen. We petition the Rabb of Alameen. The Alameen means the all known. They said all the worlds. Alam means to have knowledge. So he's the Rabb, the Lord of anything that's known or knowable. If you don't know it and it's knowable, he's the Lord of that. Even though you don't know it. It's knowable. And whether you know it or not, if it exists, he's the Rabb of it. When you come to know of it, he's already there. Not some new Rabb who brought it into existence. What is the petition for? What is this for? Well, we have it right here. Sirat al-Mustaqim. That's what we're asking for. Who is the guide, or what is the guide? That's going to be in 2856 and in 2254. You're going to find the answer to that. You're going to look it up later. What are the qualifications of the guide? And that's going to be in chapter 91, verse 8. We just discussed it, that guide has to know both ways. He has to be qualified. He has to know the intricacies about the right way, and he has to know the intricacies about the wrong way. He has to know everything so that he can guide. Well, I know all about this and I know all about that, so I'm qualified to guide. Is the guide sufficient to guide? Does he need help? I don't want to ask the guy and then he says, well, I can only get you half the way. You have to find somebody else to take you the rest of the way. I said, nah, don't mind. I want somebody who can take me all the way. So is he sufficient to guide? That's going to be in chapter 25, verse 31. What type of guidance is being requested? Divine guidance. We're going to use that term. divine guidance. In other words, guidance from our Creator. Not just any local kind of guidance. We want guidance from our Creator that will get us in His favor, get us back in His pleasure, that He's pleased with us and we're pleased with Him. That's what we want. That's going to be in chapter 21, verse 20. What is the source of the guidance? That's going to be in chapter 2, verse 185. This Quran has been set down as a guidance and proof of the guidance. Is the source of the guidance sufficient? That's going to be in 10:15, 28:49. Who are the guided ones? That's going to be in 7:178. See, all these questions are going to come up when we talk about guidance. It's not just a simple thing. Just to talk about that, you need to know all these points. You have to be assured of them. Otherwise, you might not be being guided. You have to know all of these in place. The Quran supplies all that information, but you have to question, you have to think, you have to ponder. And Quran gives you it's right there, it's already there. Who are the guided ones? 7:178. What is the Siratul Mustaqim and where does it lead? Where does it lead us? That's going to be in 1936 and 743. Who are the Dhalameen? The straying ones, because we have to be able to know, wow, not these guys. I mean, I might not know if I'm guided, but I know that they're straying. So I know not to go over here. I know that's wrong. I might not know what's right, but I know what's wrong. That's wrong, so I'm not going to do that. That's going to be in 2850. Who are the favored? You see, the people of Anam, the favored one. Those who you're favored. You're showing your nikmah. That's in 469. So you can go when you review this tape. We're going to have a copy of this tape, and everybody's here. We'll get a copy of it, hopefully. And you can look over these points and check them and certify that information. But we're going to make sure that you understand this before you get up out of your seat anyway. Hopefully. The Quran provides the guidance. The Quran. Chapter 17, verse 9. Surely this, the Quran, guides to that which is most upright, and gives good news to the believers who do good, that theirs is a great reward. You see, you said, Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim. This Quran guides to Aqwam. That's the comparative form of Qawamun, which is better. It's the guides to better. Whatever you ask for, Allah gave you better. You say you want guidance? I'll give you more. I'll give you the best guidance you can have. This Quran gives you the best guidance, Aqwam, guides to that which is most upright. You see? Most upright. Sirat, special note. Sirat, way path, and Mustaqim, straight path, are upright, established. Now, in the Quran, chapter 12, verse 40, Allah says, you serve not but besides Him but names which you have named, you and your fathers. Allah has set down no authority for them. Judgment is only Allah's. He commands that you serve none but Him. This is the right deen, what they translate as religion, but most people know not. Allah has commanded that you serve none but Him. But you serve names what you have named, you and your fathers, your ancestors. Fathers mean not only your literal fathers, but your ancestors from old. Allah has set down no sultan for that. The word sultan translates as convincing argument. You don't have any convincing argument for what you're doing. You might have an argument, but it's not convincing. Of course, you're going to put up an argument. Brother, that's some foolishness you're talking. It's not convincing. Nobody believes that. You see, that don't even make sense. You have no sultan. You see? Serve Allah. That's the right thing. Now, Siratul Mustaqim equals Tawheed or monotheism. Siratul Mustaqim equals Tawheed or monotheism. Quran 1936. And surely Allah is my Lord and your Lord, so serve Him. This is the right path. Hada Sirat al-Mustaqim. Look at that. Serving Allah. That's the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Serving Allah alone. You see, whenever you read in the Quran, Allah, it means Allah alone. Whenever you see Allah, automatically you have to think alone. You see? Alone. Allah alone. And we're going to show that. We're going to show that in a few minutes. I'm not going to just say that and say, oh wow, he told him that. I'm going to show you. I'm just putting it out there for you now. So maybe in your mind you say, that's some nonsense. He don't know what he's talking about. And then I'm going to clear your mind up for you then and stop you from thinking like that. Stop you from jumping the gun. You see? So I'm going to slow down now because as soon as I start thinking, I'm going to fight that back because he's going to clean it up. Look. Allah alone. We're calling this a guiding light. Quran chapter 5 verse 15 and 16. You said, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. That's what you asked for. You wanted to be guided the Sirat al-Mustaqim. So Allah comes and tells you, O people of the book, indeed, our messenger has come to you, making clear to you much of that which you concealed of the book, and passing over much. You was concealing much, and you were passing over much, not even paying that no mind. Indeed, there has come to you from Allah a light and a clear book. It comes from Allah, a light and a clear book. Whereby, there's a little word here, bihi, purpose clause. Be little word, bihi, purpose clause. For this purpose, with this, whereby Allah guides such as follows His pleasures into the ways of peace, brings them out of darkness into light by His will, and guides them to the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Guides them in our Sirat al-Mustaqim. Look at that. Allah says He has come to you a light. Whenever you see in the Quran the term a light, nur, it's always singular. It's always singular. There's never lights. It's like Sirat, singular. Light is always singular. But when you see darkness, bring you out of darkness, it's always plural. Dhulumat. It's always plural. Because darkness represents ignorance, wrong, and there's many shapes of wrong. But there's only one way to get it right. You see? One right. Not two. Not this and. It's not Quran and. It's not Allah and. It's never going to be that. It's only one. You see? It's only one. Special note. Abdul. Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. No one says Abdi anymore. Look at that. Now, once you read in the Quran, after you said Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, Ihdi, you're never going to see that said in the Quran anymore, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Never in the Quran is anybody going to ask to be guided. Nobody's going to ask to be guided anymore. Why do you suppose that? Because you got it. Allah says He done gave it to you. He done gave it to you. No need to ask. So what would you look like today standing, a brother is trying to make dua, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, I said, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, if I'm seeing the Prophet, if I'm standing back there with the Prophet in that time, and he has already given me this information here and explained it to me, like it's being explained right here, meaning the book has explained itself, and I said, wow, look at that. Allah has already guided me. And then he said, well, brother, it's time to make dua. I said, dua, what's that? You know, salat al-dua ritual that we do. And I said, well, okay. And I'm standing there, and he said, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. I said, well, wow, excuse me, Prophet, didn't you just ask Allah to guide you to Sirat al-Mustaqim? I thought you said you had already been guided. You already gave you that. So why are you still asking for guidance when you got it already? So the brother said, brother, come on. That's because we always want to be guided. So we keep asking Allah for guidance. I said, no, that's not what the Quran says. That's something from your mouth. The Quran never uses this anymore in the Quran. As a matter of fact, what you should be doing, instead of asking for his guidance, we should ask for protection, not for guidance. We should now ask for protection. Ask to protect us. Look, brother, I said, you know, can you help me get from here to here? Yeah, don't worry, I'll ride with you and I'll help show you the way. I said, look, you know, watch it, because sometimes I don't read the signs right. Don't make sure I don't make the wrong turn. You see, I'm not looking for you to ask you to guide me. Just help me stay on the course now. You see, you're already showing me the guidance, but make sure, brother, stay awoke now. You need to pull over maybe and get some rest. So you're helping me in that way. Look, instead we should ask for his protection, not for his guidance. Now let's take a look and see. So, brother, wow, this is some serious stuff you're saying. Look, Quran chapter 2, verse 185. The month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was sent down, revealed, a guidance to men, for men, and clear proofs of the guidance. You see? Hudan lin-nas. This is guidance for the people. Quran 3:7. Our Lord, this is what now you should be saying. Our Lord, since you got the guidance already. Our Lord, make not our hearts to deviate after thou hast guided, past tense, us, and grant us mercy from thee. Surely thou art the most liberal giver. You see? We should be asking God, don't let us deviate now that you have guided us. We're not going to stand here and ask you to guide us anymore. We're asking you now, don't let us deviate. Help us to, and even that request is up to you. Allah's not going to make you deviate. All you got to do is follow this. But this is your human endeavor always to call out to do. But everything is provided for you. Allah says He's the one who created everything, put everything in place, and then guided. So there's nothing for you to ask Him for. That He didn't say, oh wow, I forgot that. You need that. You know, you need that. I've created all this heaven and earth and beyond, and I forgot that thing you need there. You know, what you need. I forgot that. Yeah, okay, you get. Oh, wow, I forgot yours too. Everybody, all the people on earth now, God is forgetting all these things that they're asking for. No, you got everything. You want to now stay on the right course. And actually, that's just you saying that. All you have to do is follow the guidance, you stay on the right course. It's automatic. The law is in place. The law is in place. If you follow guidance, you'll be guided. If you don't, the law, you won't be guided. Simple as that. Now, but still, your request is granted. In the Quran, chapter 9, verse 115. We're talking about the source of guidance. The source of guidance. Before we start talking about Tawheed, before we want to talk about Salah, fasting, Ramadan, who did this, who did that, and who shot John, we need to know what is the source that we're talking from. So we're talking about the source of guidance, so we can know at least now, whatever it is, we know where to find it. We don't have to go running around, brother, you can go to the library and see if you can find these old books, ancient books from this, and this brother translated this from Swahili and from this, and find all of that. You don't have to go do all of that. You got the book right here. Just look in the book. If you don't find it, leave it alone. If you don't find it, leave it alone. You know the basic things you do, right? Allah says, believe in Him, don't associate nothing with Him, and do good. That's common. That's what you do. If you do that, you go to paradise. You don't have to become a rocket scientist. Wow, you know, I was just a regular guy. I'm going to get into paradise with all the scientists and mathematicians and stuff. No, I was just a regular guy. No, did you do good? Did you associate things? Boom, in paradise sitting there with the rocket scientists who might be in hell, by the way. Quran 9:115. And is not attributable to Allah, they put it as, it is not Allah for Allah that He should lead people astray after He has guided them. It's not for Him. He's not going to lead nobody astray after He guided you. He's not going to do that. It's not that. So you don't have to say. You don't even have to say, Allah, don't let us go astray after you guided us. He's not going to do that. You're just saying that. You know, like you go to the grave site and you put some flowers down and say, oh. The person there, they don't know the flowers. They don't smell the flowers and all that. That's for you. You bought those flowers and put them there for you. Why don't you just take them and carry them with you? It's for you. You bought them for you. It's not for them. But it's your human nature to do that. Like you do, you make your conscience feel clear. You see? So you say, Allah, don't let me. It's not you. Don't blame Allah. It's you. He's not going to do that after you got it. You follow the guidance. Don't make that excuse now. Try to make it weak. Oh, Allah, you let me. He's not doing that for you. After he has guided you. So far, so he says, look, so far, so that he makes clear to them that what they should guard against and what they should guard against. Surely Allah is knower of all things. Look, it's not attributable to Allah that he should lead people astray after he has guided them. So much so that he makes clear to you what you should guard against. He's even told you what you should guard against. See, I see it and you said, well, I don't know, what is it, please Allah, don't let me, which way should I go, brother? Should I step over it? He says, look, just step on the green. All the time, step on the green. Don't step on the gray. Gray, boom. I told you not to step on the gray. You see, if you step on the green, you can get across. So God has already told you how to step through life. He told you how to step through life. Just follow those steps. Quran chapter 14, verse 34. And he gives you all, Kuli, he gives you all that you ask of him. What are you asking for? What are you? If you ask him for guidance, he gives it to you. He says he gives you all. So why ask him again? So brother, I just gave you the guidance. What do you keep asking me for? What's wrong with you? It says I give you, look, says Kuli, I give you all that you ask of him. He said he created everything for you, and now he's guided you. He's doing that right now. He's guiding you. And if you count Allah's favors, you will not be able to number them. That means get all your scientists and your technology and all of that, count the favors. The numbers just go on. And the machine, boom, blew up. So, wow, we got to make a bigger machine. All the scientists in the world, and boom, it blew up. Said we need to give up. There's no machine that can count the favors. If you look, Allah said that, so you'll never be able to do it. He says, if you count Allah's favors, you will not be able to number them. Surely man, al-insan, the mankind, is very unjust and ungrateful. Unjust and ungrateful. You see, you're unjust and ungrateful. You're unjust because you keep asking God for guidance and he already gave it to you. That's not fair. You know, why you keep asking for something I already gave you? Like you don't appreciate it. I didn't give you enough. I didn't give you the right thing. You see, I didn't, brother, you know, I mean, you know, what you gave me, I understand it, but that wasn't enough. I need the money to get home. How much it costs? I don't know, about $20. Here's $30. Brother, can you give me? Yeah, but I saw something I bought. Boom. You're unjust and ungrateful. Question. Why are you still asking? Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim. Nobody in the Quran does. Nobody in the Quran. Just turn from, after the Fatiha, turn over throughout the Quran, and nobody's asking Ihdina anymore, ever. The only time you're going to see Ihdina again is when Allah said, guide them to hell. That's the next time you see that. When you're being guided to hell. Not guidance for here. So I don't know why you're still saying Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim. Maybe somebody will be able to answer that. And we'll understand. Muhammad, the messenger prophet, was guided by Allah alone. He was guided by Allah alone. So if he was guided by Allah alone, why would we think that we need to be guided by Allah and? Allah and. Why do you want to put and when you talk about Allah? Allah and. 671. Say, shall we call besides Allah? Besides Allah, should we call besides Allah? On that which profits us not, nor harms us? And shall we be turned back on our heels after Allah has guided us? like one whom the devil causes to follow his low desires in bewilderment in the earth. This person has companions who calls him to the right way. He has companions, friends of his. So brother come and said, we're having a Tawheed conference. Why don't you come sit and listen with us? A Tawheed conference, you know Tawheed, you like Tawheed, right? You heard that word, Tawheed. We're having a Tawheed conference. There's nothing bigger in your life than that, right? Would you come and spend a minute and sit with us? You have companions who call you to the right way. Say, come to us, say, surely the guidance of Allah, that is the guidance, and we are commanded to submit to the Lord of the worlds, Al-Huda, Huda of Allah, that is the guidance. That's what Allah says. His Huda is the guidance. He said, brother, you didn't say Allah and. We're not interested in Allah. It's got to be Allah and His messenger, Allah and the Prophet, Allah and Muhammad, Allah and. We're going to show you that and is negated all the way throughout the Quran. We're going to show you. That's why I'm saying it like that, so you can start thinking again, wow, look what he's saying. He's getting in trouble. Well, everybody knows Allah and His messenger. So what is he talking about? So now, when I show you, it's going to lock your mind down again. So, wow, he caught me again. It's in your mind, you see, but we're going to work with your mind while we're doing this again. Look, Quran 6:162. Say, as for me, I don't know about y'all. This prophet is saying it. As for me, I don't know about y'all standing there talking about Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim 5 times a day, every day. I don't know about that. But as for me, my Lord has guided, past tense, guided me. Where? Ila Siratal Mustaqim, to the right path. A right deen. A right deen. The faith of Abraham, Malik to Abraham, the dictates of Abraham, what he dictated, and that's monotheism, Tawheed. The upright one, and he was not of the mushrikeen. He was not of the mushrikeen. He didn't have 2 or more sources. A mushrik is a person who has 2 or more things that he depends on. See, Tawheed is one thing, unity, oneness. But once you add anything to that, you become associating, partnership, shirk, partnering, sharing, and you become a mushrik. Simple as that. And he was not of the mushrikeen. He only dealt with Allah alone. Whatever he got from, he got it from Allah alone. His guidance, his knowledge, everything from Allah alone. He didn't bring somebody else in, his ancestors, his cousins, uncles, the sheikh down the corner. Somebody said, brother, can you help me with this? I mean, that's clear, but can you add some light to this? He says, yeah, well, really, what you should do, these people over here, you whip them, but according to our law, kill them, stone them. The guy says, well, God says, whip me. He says, yeah, but we have our own thing. The sheikh said that you should be stoned to death. Well, God said this. Well, brother, that's what the hadith said. So, 2 things, conflicting. We'll talk about that too. He's guided me in my Siratal Mustaqim. I don't know about you, but for me, my Lord has guided me. So no need for me to stand here and say, Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim. Why would I be saying that? My Lord has guided me. All I got to do is stay on it now and do what I'm supposed to do. Muhammad, the messenger prophet, trusted the Quran alone as the source of guidance. That's what he did. So I'm quoting the Quranic verses. You see, I don't know if these verses need tafsir. They need further examination, explaining, and all that. To me, they don't. They're very plain and simple. I'm a common man, you see. So I'm trying to deal with the very basic, simple things, you see. And in English, it's very clear to me. So now, if it's this clear to me in English, it's got to be even clearer in Arabic, you see. If the translator can translate this and it's that clear and sufficient for me in English, well, how much clearer could it be, if this light here is giving me this light with this thing around it. Imagine if I take that off. It's going to give me better light. It's not going to What I'm reading, I can read here now. When I take that out, I ain't going to change the writing here. It's going to make me read it better. I can stand back here and read it now. This is the same writing though. I'm not going to change the writing. You see? No. Okay. No. Muhammad the messenger prophet trusted the Quran alone as the source of guidance. That's what he trusted. I don't know why we don't want to do the same thing. We want the Quran and. So brother, these brothers over here talking about the Quran alone. They're Quraniyun. Quraniyin. Let's make up a name for them. Quraniyin. Quraniyun. So is that what you want to call a prophet, the messenger, one who you love and have celebrated? That's what he was. That's what he had. The Quran alone. I don't know. We're Muslims. We follow the Quran. But why do you want to make up these names? Well, I don't know. But that's what you want to call them? Wow, look at that. Look at that. 6107. Follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. That's number one. Follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. That's number one. Number two, there is no God but He. Number three, turn away from the mushrikeen. Look at that. Look at that. 3-point must system. First of all, follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. That's what the prophet was told. Uhiya, Wahi. Follow the Wahi that is revealed to you from your Lord. Follow it. Taba'a. Be in sync with it. Do it. Do it, first of all. And while you're doing it, know there is no God but He. Keep that in mind too. While you're following that, living your life, there's no God but He. Don't associate nothing with Him. If you got that like that, you're good. Turn away from the people who are not doing those two things because they are mushrikeen. They're the mushriks. Wow, look how Allah told us who the mushriks are. Simple as that. In case anybody who's looking at this camera and looking at me now, because everybody here can see me clearly. For the people who are out there who's going to see this, maybe on the other side of the world, if we can get over here. Allah just said who a mushrik is. Very simply. We don't have to have big dictionaries and grammarians and all that kind of thing. Look, Allah told the messenger. He says, follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. No, you don't have no problem with that, is right? If you do, we'll tell you. Look over in 619. Says this Quran has been revealed to me that warn you whoever want. So 10:15. Bring a Quran other than this or change it. Says no. So we know it's the Quran. 2:26. Produce a surah like it. So there's surahs. So follow that. Follow the Quran only. And keep in mind that there's no God but He. Don't bring nobody, no person, no God, no thing into play. Now, once you're doing that, anybody who else ain't doing that, they are the mushriks. They're bringing something else. Turn away from them. Get away from them. Turn away from that. You see, you can call them to this, but turn away from that. Don't you be a part of that. You can call them to this, but don't follow that. Turn away from that. Mushrikeen. Now, follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. Quran 10:15. So now, apparently, the prophet is sitting there. He's got this Quran, and that's the only thing he's got, and the people are not happy with it. Hey, brother, you just got this Quran, and look what it's saying. It's talking about our gods and talking about we can't do this and we can't do this and all that. We're not accustomed to this. Look. When our what messages? Our clear messages. Not ambiguous, not somebody got to come and straighten them out for you. It's when our clear messages, Ayatul Bayan, our clear messages are recited to them, rehearsed to them. Those who have no hope for the meeting with us say, look, say Muhammad, look, bring a Quran other than this. Look, we don't. That's all he's got. He said bring a Quran and. He said bring a Quran and something else. He says bring a Quran other than this. Or change this one. Change this one. bring a Quran other than this, or change this one. Look at that. So look how he responds. Say, tell them. See, say. He's not going to open his mouth and say, you must be crazy. Imagine that. When they come up to the prophet and he's got this revelation from God and he knows this experience and it's powerful for him, and they say, Muhammad, you know, you need to bring Quran other than that, right away his urge would be, are you crazy? You know, that would be his first thinking, like the natural instinct of a person speaking of himself. Are you crazy? Why would I do that? You don't open his mouth to say nothing. Allah tells him what to say. You don't open your mouth because that's recorded in the Quran, so we can't have you saying nothing that's in the Quran out of your own self. So say. They ask you say. You don't do no talking until Allah tells you what to say. Look, say. It is not for me to change it of my own accord. I follow naught but what is revealed to me. Wahi. I follow not but what is revealed to me from my Lord. Indeed, I fear if I disobey my Lord, if I disobey, chastise him on a grievous day. Look at that. So look what happened. You see? They asked him to bring a Quran other than this or change it. He only responded to one part of the request. He didn't respond to the first. He didn't say, I'm not going to bring a Quran other than that. That's like foolishness. It wasn't in his power to bring it in the first place. So how are you going to respond to that? He didn't have nothing to do with the Quran to bring it. But he does have the power to change it. He could change it. And so he responds to what he's able to do. He's able to change it. And he says, I'm not going to change it of my own accord. You see? I don't have no power to bring this Quran, another Quran, because I didn't bring it. It's from Allah. I have power to change it, but I'm not going to do it either. I follow only what is revealed to me from my Lord. That's what I follow only. I don't follow my sunnah, my thinking, some traditions I got, some Arab customs and all that as guidance to get me to paradise. I don't follow that. Yeah, I live as an Arab and I eat and drink and dread, sit and dance and whatever I do as an Arab. That's my culture, that's my custom. But for my belief, my understanding, what I trust to get me from here to paradise, only the Quran, that's all I'm dealing with. Nothing else. Well, that's clear, isn't that clear? Wow. I'd like to be having somebody sitting here now that said, brother, wait a minute, excuse me. I want to stop you and correct you on one of those points you made. I'll be concerned. Which one? What are you going to say? What do you got to say? I don't want to hear you talk. Show some verse from the Quran that says, no, that's not right what you're saying. Another verse. Don't tell me, well, brother, I disagree. Well, I'm not interested in that. It's no problem. You see, you can disagree. It's no problem. But I'm dealing with the facts. I'm pointing the Quran, you see. Say. I'm saying. Allah says say. So I'm repeating what Allah told him to do. I'm saying this here. That's all I'm saying. See, I'm standing behind the Quran. The Quran is out front. I'm not out in front of the Quran. I'm behind it. The Quran is speaking. The Quran is, you have to deal with the Quran, not me. I'm just back here flipping these pages. It's the Quran that's talking, not me. I'm just turning the pages like this, look. And the Quran is doing the talking, you see? Look, what did Muhammad, the messenger prophet, leave as guidance for us to follow? Look at that. What is the Quran, and was it the Quran and his Sunnah contained in the famous books of Hadith? Yeah, there's the big question now. Now we should get some action. Here's the big question. Said, wow, there's the question. Let's see how you're going to get out of that one. You see, because that's what the whole world is into now. So how are you going to get out of that one? You see? What did Muhammad, the messenger prophet, leave as guidance for us to follow? Was it the Quran and his Sunnah? And his Sunnah can only be contained in the Hadith. You see, I go to the restaurant and I say, coffee please. You think the guy's just going to pour some coffee on me? He's going to open his mouth, he's going to pour it. He's going to give me a cup with the coffee in it, you see. After I drink the coffee, I throw the cup in the garbage. I don't need the cup, you see. So the Sunnah, you can only get it if it's poured into the hadith. You see, it has to be delivered to you in the hadith. You see, so otherwise, how you gonna know sunnah? Where's the sunnah? So you read it in the hadith. You see, so Allah says, "What hadith do you want?" After Allah is ayahs, not what sunnah do you want. He knows what He uses when you need. Look, is it the Quran? And let's ask the messenger. Let's ask the messenger. What is he talking about now? Let's ask the messenger. Let's ask the messenger. What is he talking about now? Where's the messenger? Is he here somewhere? Well, if you got your Quran chapter 43, verse 45 real fast, anybody can read that. Quran, before I flip this page. Quran 43, 45, what does it say? That's talking to the messenger revealed in the Quran. What does it say?
It says, and ask those of our messengers whom we sent before thee, did we ever appoint gods to be worshipped besides the beneficent?
Look at that. Here's Allah telling Muhammad, the prophet, ask those of our messengers whom we sent before you, did we ever appoint gods to be worshipped besides the beneficent? So he must have said, well, wow, who am I going to ask? It's been 700 years or something since Jesus has been around, according to what they were telling us. Jesus, Moses, he's gone. They were before me. Who this? Is there a messenger walking around? Excuse me, are you a messenger of God? Yeah, I brought this. Oh, well, good. I'm going to ask you. Who is he going to ask? Who is going to ask? Well, he had to ask somebody, but we'll let you figure that out for now. But we're going to ask the messenger. Look, like that. We're going to do the same thing. The Akbar Shahada. The Akbar Shahada. Look at that. Allah is called to witness this, the greatest as a testimony to the Quran alone. The greatest as a testimony to the Quran alone. And I just told Brother Tariq the other day, I said, wow, when I was reading this here, writing this, it just dawned on me again that this is also the testimony to Allah alone and the Quran alone. That's what this is. This is Muhammad's testimony that he only believed in Allah alone and followed the Quran alone. That's what this is, a testimony to that. Look at that. I didn't write it, it's in the book. He said, brother, you wrote that up here. Well, I just transcribed it from the book. It's in the book. It's in every Quran on earth. You see, it's in every Quran on earth. It's going to be right there. Look at that. So look, Allah is called to witness. This is a big event that the prophet is getting ready to say something very, very profound, the most profound thing that he wants to say before his departure. You see, his closing argument, his closing statement, you see. And he's going to summon Allah to witness this. Not that Allah doesn't witness, but he's invoking Allah to witness this, because on the day of judgment, nobody can say whatever, and Allah says, yeah, I witnessed that. You asked me and I witnessed it and it's recorded. Witness this testimony that I'm going to give. You see, I want you to witness this testimony. It's called the Akbar Shahada. The greatest witness. The greatest witness, the greatest testimony that can be given. Look at it. Wow, look at that. It's 6:19. Say, tell them, say to them, ask them, what thing is the weightiest in testimony? Say, Allah is witness between you and me. And this, the Quran, has been given to me, revealed to me. That is a little word there, be with it. That, with it, I may warn you and whomsoever it reaches. Look at that. Allah is a witness between you and me. That this, the Quran, has been revealed to me, given to me, that with it, it alone, be he singular, be he is singular, that's singular, not with them, not with those. With it, I may warn you currently who's here, And whomever in life this Quran reaches, it's reached us. Look, we right here. If you calculate by what they tell us, this is 1500 years later. Here we are right here. Look at that. And we're being warned with it. Wow, look at that. And it will keep right on going after us until the end of time. With it. You and whomever it reaches. The Quran alone. Doesn't say what he forgot to say. The Quran and my Sunnah. Like you read in the Hadith book somewhere. He forgot to say that in the fake books. In the books that the people wrote 200 years later. He forgot to say that here. The Prophet forgot to say that, calling a lot of witnesses something. And he forgot to say that. And the Lord's going to witness and say, wait a minute, Muhammad, I can't witness to that. You forgot to say the Sunnah. Allah's going to witness to some false statement? No. So this is sound. This is correct. Now look what happens. Look what happens. Do you really bear witness? Now the only time we hear about bearing witness is Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah. It's the only time you hear Muslims talk about bear witness. You have to bear witness that there's no God but God, Muhammad is the messenger of God. You have to bear witness. That's the only time you hear that coming off the Muslim lip. Bear witness. Yet here's the Prophet himself saying, do you really bear witness that there are other gods with Allah? That second shahada, you really going to do that? Are you really going to make that second shahada, shahadatain? Well, you already said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Wait a minute, brother. Are you really going to bear witness to something else? You really going to do that? Huh. Tell them, I bear not witness. La tashhad. I say, he is only one God, and surely I am innocent of that which you set up with him. I'm not part of it. Don't be talking about bear witness to me. Don't be talking about bear witness to me or anything other than God alone. That's what it says right there. Now, if anybody has something they want to stop me, because I don't want it to be said, well, look, everybody's sitting here captivated, and the brother's just filling them with some nonsense. Feel free. Anybody who says, no, brother, I think that's wrong, and you can point out to me the error. And so maybe I can change it. Maybe I might be wrong. You see? Now, later on, you might get this tape and look at it and say, you know, brother, I took this to some people. I didn't see it when you was talking, but I took it to some people later on. They were able to catch it, and they said, so I'll bring it back. And then I'll be glad to put this back up again and ask somebody to come and film it back and film it over again. And put it up on YouTube or somewhere that I was wrong. But meanwhile, I'm saying right now, don't sit here and say, brother, that ain't right. That's not what that says. And correct me right now. You can do it online. Yes, sir.
My understanding, and I could be wrong, is that the second part of that shahadatain is that he's being witness that he is the messenger, not that he's a god associated with the law. You know, where it says that there are other gods with the law. Yeah. So I think there's two different categories or entities. One is saying that I'm being witness that he is the messenger. And this is saying that he's being witness that they are the gods with the law. So I think the two different issues there.
Good. Okay, you have your Quran, chapter 13, verse 43. Quran, chapter 13, verse 43.
Yes, sir.
What does it say?
And those who disbelieve say, Thou art not a messenger. Say, Allah is sufficient for a witness between me and you and whoever has knowledge of the book.
Look at that. Allah says there, he's talking to the prophet right away. And there's people right among him in his presence who are not accepting him as a messenger. He's saying, I'm a messenger, and they're saying, you're not a messenger. You're not a messenger. Allah says, tell them, Kafa billahi shaheed. Allah is sufficient as a witness. He's not asked anybody else to say, Ashhadu an Muhammad Rasulullah. Nobody else has been come to bear witness to your messengership. Nobody ever in the Quran, Allah says to bear witness to the messengership of Muhammad. Nobody. That second shahada is outside of the Quran. It's not in the Quran. Allah said He is sufficient as a witness. Right. So when you bear witness, you're saying, no, you're not. You're not sufficient. We have to bear witness too. Allah said He's sufficient as a witness. And whoever has knowledge of the book, because the book will bear witness to His messengership. If you have knowledge of this book, you say, wow, this book had to be revealed by God. Such a book as this, whoever this person who brought this book is a messenger of God. If you have knowledge of the book, you'll know that he's a messenger of God. And God says He's sufficient as a witness. A witness. Now, one more place, you can look at chapter 63, verse 1, because some people did try to come in.
One thing, I request everybody that finish this person, all this lecture, and you point out all the questions, and after the
okay, good.
After that you can question.
We can do that too. We can do that too.
During the speech.
I invited that.
Everybody, everybody, the note what you have completed, you write a note on your paper. Okay. When you finish, then
and actually, I put page numbers, so if you want me to come back to the page number that you had a problem with, just write that number down, the page number, and then I'll flip back to it. Okay. You see, because again, if like this brother, if he's sitting here and he's having a reservation, it's going to block out what he's hearing. If he's not sound, if he didn't get that out the way, it's a blockage like an artery. You got to go put a stent in there. You see, otherwise he's going to have a heart attack or stroke. You see, so you said you have to come and get that out of the way so the blood can flow. So this knowledge can flow. It's not going to flow if he's got reservations about something here. You see, so that's why I invite that question, you see. But I understand your position too. We want the information to flow. So make sure that you ask questions. We can come back to that. Make that a point, then we'll come back to that again. Yeah, because if you read the whole of the Quran, anytime somebody accepts anyone besides Allah as a source of guidance, as a source of help for you to get you to paradise, that is a God besides Allah. You see, even yourselves. And we're going to talk about that too. We're going to show you that they are gods besides Allah. We're going to come to it. Okay. So I invited that, and maybe we'll try to reserve. Make a note, maybe if the page number, if you can't read the number, remember the whole thing. Now, Quran 30:35. Does the Quran speak of Hadith and Sunnah? Does the Quran speak of Hadith and Sunnah? The Quran speaks of Hadith and Sunnah. Quran 30:35. Or have we sent to them an authority so that it speaks of that which they associate with me, with him? Because you're associating Hadith and Sunnah with him. You're saying that, brother, Allah says you have to make salah, but there's no detail for how to do it. And in order to get the details, we have to have the Hadith and Sunnah to fulfill this equation. I said, even though Allah says the Quran is fully detailed, the Quran is fully explained, nothing is left out, everything is contained, we're going to go through the attributes of the Quran, even though that happens, you say, well, brother, that's what it is, because otherwise we don't know. Well, then somebody is wrong. Either Allah's wrong and it's not fully explained in detail and clear, or you're wrong by associating that thing as a partner. That's what it becomes. So now, when you say Ashhadu Muhammadur Rasulullah, you're allowing him to provide those details. That's what the second Shahada does. That makes him a God besides Allah. Look how that told it out. Now look. Remember the reminder. If you are of the mindful, look at that. Remember the reminder if you are of the mindful, the Quran alone. Quran chapter 15, verse 9. Surely we have sent down, revealed the reminder, and surely we are its guardians. The reminder. Quran is called the reminder. Quran 36, 69 to 70. And we have not taught him poetry, nor is it meet for him. This is naught but a reminder, and a clear, meaning plain Quran, to warn him who would have life, and that the word may prove true against the disbelievers. Quran 50:45. So remind by means of the Quran him who fears. Remind by what? The Quran. Remind by means of the Quran. The Quran is the reminder if you are mindful. So remind by what? Means of the Quran. Now that we just said this Quran has been left with you. With it, I mean, warn you whoever. Now you remind by means of the Quran. Quran 88:21. So remind. Thou art only one to remind. That's all you are. The only one to remind. You're nobody to be making nobody do nothing. You're not nobody to be guiding nobody. You're only to remind by means of the Quran. Remind by means of the Quran. You're only reminder. The Quran is a reminder. Look at that. It's all right there. It's in everybody's Quran. Allah says you are only a reminder. He says, what do you mean he's only a reminder? Well, that's what Allah said. I didn't say it. Well, Allah doesn't mean only a reminder. What does it mean? Well, Allah says when He creates, when He intends to create something, He only says to it, kun fayakun, says He doesn't mean only. He has to do other things. When Allah says, La ilaha illallah, there's no God except Allah, it doesn't mean except. Except, only, innama illa, it doesn't mean that. When He says Muhammad is except this, Muhammad is only that, it doesn't mean that. Well, that's what Allah says. We'll have to see what it means. Follow Muhammad or follow the leader? Which one should we do? Follow Muhammad or follow the leader? Look at that. Little brother said follow the leader. Look at that. Wow. Out of the mouth of babes is that wisdom. Follow the leader. Look at that. Wow. 10:35:36. 10:35:36. Say, is there any of your associate gods, whoever you associate with Allah? When you say Allah and, they become an associate God. Whenever you say Allah and, you're associating somebody with God, whether it's a person, place, or thing. Allah says, don't associate. We're going to get to that when we do the Tawheed. Don't associate anybody, any God, anything. You see? So when God is by Himself. When you associate with something with Him, you say Allah and. Now, Allah is asking you, is there any associate God who guide to the truth? Who guide to the truth? Now, if you say Muhammad guides to the truth, then you are making him automatically an associate God. Allah just asked you, is any of your associate gods who guide to the truth? He wants to, that's rhetorical. I mean, I'm the only one who guides to the truth. So if you say, well, Muhammad guides to the truth, because we don't know the truth about how to do the ritual salah, and he guides us, shows us how to do it. So it says, say, Allah guides to the truth. He's not Allah. So you have to have something wrong in your thinking. There's something wrong in your thinking if you think that He guides to the truth. Allah He's an associate God then, right away. That's all it is. That's what it says right there. Allah says, is any else, your mushriks, your shirikun, your people of shirk that you associate, want to share with God in His authority, do they guide to the truth? It says, yeah, Muhammad, He guides us to the truth. He tells us about this and that and all the things. Allah just gives the thing, He gives the details. Allah just says it and He gives the details. We won't know what it is. Said, brother, say, here's the TV. I said, well, look, how do I work it? So the guy's going to come and after I install it, my job is just to install it. The guy's going to come and show you how to work it. You see? So he's going to associate with it. And I said, well, I can't do nothing with this thing now by itself. This Quran, but I can't do nothing with it. I need the Hadith and Sunnah to show me how to work it. You see, he's associate God. Say, Allah guides to the truth. Is he then who guides to the truth more worthy to be followed, or he who finds not the way unless he is guided? What is the matter with you, and how do you judge? Look at that. So now we have to ask ourselves, well, wow, how does this apply to Muhammad? Did he need to be guided? Was he at one time not guided? Take a look in your book in chapter 9, 93, verse 7. 93, verse 7. Look at that. 93, verse 7. 93, verse 7. Look at that. What does it say? 93, verse 7. No, I got it down here.
No, you have it right there, brother.
Yeah, right there.
Yes, which one do you want to read? Just the
No, I
seven?
want him to read.
Okay, it says 93 verse 7.
Yeah.
It says, and find thee groping. So he showed the way.
That's what God is saying. We found, first he said, we found you orphan and sheltered thee, and then found you groping. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًا فَهَدَى. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًا فَهَدَى. We found you dhalal, and we hada. We guided you. So Allah says then, well then you're included now, Muhammad. You're included in this. Because you did not find the way unless you were guided. You was dhallan fahada, and we guided you. So look, is there any of your associate gods who guide to the truth? Say Allah guides to the truth. Who then is more worthy to be followed? Is he who guides to the truth more worthy to be followed, or he who finds not the way unless he is guided? Muhammad found not the way until he was guided. He's not worthy to be followed. That's what it says right there. According to the Quran, he's not worthy to be followed. You see? That's what the standards Allah put. If a person needs to be guided to the truth, he's not the one to be followed. The one who needs to be followed is the one who doesn't need to be guided, who knows the guidance all the time. He knows the guidance. He's the one to be followed, not you. Somebody had to guide you. Maybe there's some other stuff that you don't know, and they say, wow, you didn't know that, maybe you don't know this. But this guy, he knows everything. I don't have to bother with him. Look at that. And most of them follow naught. Look at that. Most of them. In the Quran, there's a word akthar. Aktharu. Most. Whenever you see aktharu, there's always something bad behind it. Most. Most people are ignorant. Most people are ungrateful. Most is always wrong. There's only small amount of people when it comes to God that are right. Most people, when you're talking about God, are wrong. So wherever you are, and there's most people, and they're talking about God, and there's most people, that's what they do, you better check what they're saying. Because they're mostly wrong. Look. And most of them follow naught but conjecture. Surely conjecture will not avail aught against al-haq, against the truth, which is the Quran. Truly Allah knows what they do. Knows what you do. Now, question. What does this say about Muhammad being followed? Right there. What does it say about him being followed? Well, here's the verse I asked you to read right here. Quran 93, 6 to 8. Did he not find you an orphan and give you shelter? That's the way he found. That's the way you were, Muhammad. Before you became the prophet, you were Muhammad. You were in the desert. You were an orphan. You were raised in a pagan society. You didn't know what the book was. You didn't know what to trust. So you were influenced by that. And if you, like they say, you were 40 years old when you got the revelation, that's 40 years you lived among pagans. And you didn't know what the book was. You didn't have anything about theology. You didn't know what to trust. So you were raised on whatever it was. I don't know what you were doing, but you wasn't guided. You were dhallan. Look. It said, look. And we found ye groping, so he showed you the way. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًا. There it is, dhallan. We say, God, I'm like, do we all dhallan? We don't want to be like that. That's the way you were, dhallan. Fahada. We guided you. And found ye in want, so he enriched you. That's what happened. That's what you were before. How did you get to be who you are? By the Quran. By the Quran, not by nothing you did. Not by no hadith and sunnah that you had. You didn't have no hadith and sunnah and stuff that you knew. That you could give theology and talk about the scripture and all of that kind of thing and what's right and wrong. You didn't know. When you got the Quran told you everything. And you didn't say nothing. Allah said they asked you, say. They ask you, say. Don't you open your mouth to say nothing. When they ask you, say what Allah is telling you. That's all you say. And then you leave this Quran and go about your business. You see, your duty is not to guide nobody. You're not qualified to guide. You have to be guided. That's all it is. Nobody on earth can argue against this Quran. Nobody. So, if we've been taught something different, that's what we've been taught. That's all. And we want to trust what Allah said. That's what Allah says. What do you want to bring me something that somebody wrote 200 years, Bukhari or somebody after that, wherever they were, whoever they were, and ask me to follow that? When I have this Quran right here, why would I do that? Why would I stand before Allah and Allah says, didn't I give you hearing, sight, and intellect? Did I give you this Quran? Yeah. But the people told me, we're going to talk about that. We're going to have that all in this discussion. What's going to happen? Allah's going to let you know what's going to happen to you. Look at that. Muhammad, the messenger prophet, followed only the Quran. And so did those with him. His people were invited to follow Al-Huda, the Quran only. The Quran only. Quran 28:47-49. Unless if a disaster should befall them for what their hands have sent before, they should say, our Lord, why did thou not send us a messenger so that we might follow thy messages and be of the believers? Why didn't you send us a messenger? What do we want to do with the messenger? Follow him? No. Follow the messages. That's what we want to do. See? Send us a messenger. We don't want to say, wow, look at the messenger. What do you do? How do you live? What do you... No, we're not interested in that. We want to... What is the message you got? Tell us. Tell us. Boom. Okay, good. See you later. We follow the messages. Send us a messenger so we can follow the messages. That's what it says right there. You see? 48. But when the truth has come to them from us, they say, why is he not given the light of that which was given to Moses? Allah said, did they not disbelieve in that which was given to Moses before? They say, two enchantments backing up each other. This Quran, that book of Moses, and this Quran, this is some enchantment, one backing the other one up. And they say, surely we are disbelievers in both. We don't want neither one of them. You see? We don't want neither one. Look what the prophet says. Say, Allah says, tell them. Then bring me some book from Allah, not from yourself, from Allah, which is a better guide than these two, and I will follow it, if you're truthful. You see? You got the Torah and the Quran. You saying these are two enchantments backing each other up. So the prophet said, well, you bring me a better book from God, not from yourself that you manufactured. Bring it from God and let me authenticate that it's from God. That's a better guide than the Torah and the Quran, and I will follow it. Why? Because the Torah guides to the Quran. You see, the Quran is the Torah is a guide because it guides to the Quran. Allah says those who follow the messenger prophet whom they find in the Torah and the Injil. So that's going to guide you to this Quran. Not that he's going to follow both of them. That one is going to guide you to this one, and he says, I follow only what is revealed to me. You see, you read the whole Quran, and you read the whole Quran, and then you see the picture. Allah explains the Quran by reading the whole Quran. If you have a subject, point of interest, see what Allah says about it in the whole of the Quran. There's only a few things that he doesn't elaborate on, such as crucifixion. Allah says, they killed him not nor did they crucify him. So that's the end of the story. That's a negative. Allah is negating it. He doesn't have to prove it, so he doesn't talk about it no more. He negates it, he doesn't have to talk about that no more. So once you see that there, that's the case closed. Somebody who says it happened, they have to prove it. So the Quran is not going to talk about that. But many other things, Allah will repeat it over and over at different places. Tasrif, sarafna. So that you can understand. So look, brother, so well, let me put it like this. I said, now I get it. Now that you put it like that, I understand what you're saying. So Allah does different ways so that you can comprehend, you see? So he says, bring me a better book than these two books and I will follow it. That means he didn't follow nothing after this. After this, other than the Quran, anything after it, unless you brought a better book like the Hadith and Sunnah. The Hadith, if you calling that a better book, and then he said, well, wow, you know, if I had been around and you brought Hadith Qudsi, I would have followed that. You see? Because you got Hadith Qudsi. Holy Hadith. So now if the Prophet was living, he'd have to follow Hadith Qudsi that you brought him. This Quran would be negated now. The Hadith Qudsi would negate this Quran. Not add to it, it would negate it. Bring me a better guide than these two books and I will follow it, not them. It. Look at that. Quran 28, 56, 57. Surely thou cannot guide whom thou lovest. For the Lord guides whom he pleases, and he knows those who walk aright. You see? He knows the people who are muqtadeen. He knows them. He knows them. Because they're following the Quran. That's how he knows them. The people who are walking right are following the Quran. They're following the truth from their Lord. So he knows them. You'll know them too. And they say, if we follow, this is what the people say, and the prophets come and say, look, you need to follow this Quran. So they're afraid. They have their material things. They have their families, their spouses, and businesses and all that. And they say all these pagans and people around us, if we come and start doing what you're doing, they're going to say, who's these people? They're Muslims. They believe God. Look, run them out of town. So they said, nah, brother, we got our businesses and our jobs and social activities and all that. We know it's the truth, but we can't leave it. We can't leave what we got. So look, they say, if we follow al-Huda, ma'aka, if we follow the guidance with you, because you're following it, if we follow it with you, look what's going to happen. We should be carried off from our country. Have we not settled them in a safe, sacred territory to which fruits of every kind are drawn and sustenance from us, but most of them know not. Look at that. There's a big story behind that, but it's not for us here. So, they say if we follow the guidance with you, we're going to be run out of town. That's why we can't get down there. Look, brother, if we come and talk about this Quran alone and all that, the people are going to say, you can't come to the masjid. We don't want nothing to do with you. Astaghfirullah. Them brothers are kufars. If we come, the prophet is calling to al-Huda. Come follow the guide. They said, now, look, we're going to lose all our stuff. You see? We can't do that. Look, we work hard to get what we got. We get our degrees and the position, and everybody knows us. We're on the council, the board of this, and one thing after the other. We're going to lose that if we follow guidance with you, if we follow Allah. These people ain't going to like it. We can't do that. Look at that. If we follow al-Huda with the Quran alone, if we follow the Quran alone, people ain't going to like it. We're gonna be outcast. They're going to say, brother, stuff Allah. You got to go. What happens when they are invited to al-Huda, the Quran alone? Look what happens. Look what happens when you invite people to the Quran alone. Allah said this. Now, if this was 1,500 years ago, it's true today. Look at it. It's true today. It'll be true for all the time. Look what happens. This is what Allah says, what happens when you invite them just to the Quran. Brother, stop that Hadith and Sunnah stuff. This Quran is sufficient for you. It's for every person on the earth to walk around like this here. You see? Everybody in this room, nobody will know that you're a Muslim. You don't have on a certain kind of thing or a certain kind of this. Everybody knows. Brother, you open your mouth, you speak nice, you act good, your conduct and all that. You go, nah, brother, I just believe God alone. He doesn't have mother, father, sons, or nothing like that. Well, yeah, that's the way I live my life. I do good to my neighbor, I do good. That's the way I live. I try to help my fellow man. I try to educate myself. I try to do contribute something to humanity. I stay away from the vices and foolishness. Life is too short. I'm only here for a minute. There's something more. So that's the way that people are living. And so everybody identifies them. Wow. So before this, we were already Muslims. We're already Muslims. Look. See? So now look. What happens when you call them to Al-Huda? Look what happens. Chapter 7, verse 193, 198. And if you invite them to Al-Huda, the guidance, Al-Huda. Al-Huda is only the Quran. Make no mistake about it. Al-Huda is only the Quran. Al-Huda comes only from Allah. There's no other Al-Huda or Huda existing outside of the Quran, nowhere. There's nothing called Huda. You see, they have books called Hidayah books. Books, the brother bringing the book of Hidayah that they made up themselves. You see, with their philosophies and thinkings and hadiths and seerahs and all that stuff. No, Allah's Huda, that is Huda. You see? So look, they said, look, if you invite them to the guidance, they will not follow you. They won't do it. Al-Huda. They won't do it. If you invite them to, brother, Allah's the one who created you. Come to His guidance. Let's see what He says. It's not going to bother you. He's not going to tell you to do something wrong so you're going to go to jail. So look, brother, you want me to go rob a bank? You want me to go do... No, that's not what Allah's saying. It's good things for you. Look at that. They're not going to follow you. Look. It is the same to you whether you invite them or you're silent. You can be silent. It doesn't matter. If I see you and I'm quiet, they're not going to follow Al-Huda because I'm not saying nothing. And if I say follow Al-Huda, they're not going to follow it even if I say it. If I just stand and be quiet, they're not going to say it because they don't hear it. They're not going to follow it. And if I say it, they're still not going to follow it, so it doesn't make no difference. Whether I say it or be silent, it's the same result with them. Doesn't matter. Look, 98. And if you invite them to Al-Huda, they hear not. They're not going to hear that. And they see, and thou seest them looking towards you. They're looking towards you. So, wow, I know He see me. You read my lips. They're not hearing, but they see me, brother. They're looking towards you, yet they see not. They put blinders on themselves. They've already put in their mind and they're thinking shields. You see? That's the law. That's the law. That's the law that's in operation, just like gravity. If you don't want to be guided, your mind gets into not guided. You're not guided because you're not thinking guidance. And so your mind says, no guidance, no. You see? So there's a shield. It's automatic. It comes automatic. If you don't do that, this happens. Whenever you do something, there's always positive and negative. If you do this, you're not doing that. If you do this, you're not doing that. If you turn here, you're turning from this. So if you're not thinking to follow the guidance, you're thinking not to follow it. And so you're putting up the shield yourself. You put that up. It's you. You put it up yourself. Allah says, take to forgiveness and enjoy good, and turn away from the ignorant. Turn away from the ignorant. Because that's ignorant now. Now, brother, I'm inviting you. All you have to do is check it out. All you have to do is look at it. Because Allah says, whoever He guides, none can misguide him. So what are you afraid of? The brother, I don't want to come because, they're going to misguide you. I said, well, I thought you said the law guided you. Said you guided it, right? So why you don't trust the law? He said, none can misguide you. You don't trust that. You don't even trust that, what you say. You can come and say, look, brother, that's some nonsense. I see what that is, some foolishness. I'm going to tell you why that's wrong. I said, wow, I'm glad you came. I never saw it like that. I never saw that. But you said, no, they're going to misguide you. You see? So you're afraid. You don't trust even what Allah said. You see? I'm not afraid. I'll go anywhere on earth with anybody and proclaim this Quran. You see? Now, I might not know every little nuance about it. I don't. But I know some basic fundamental thing. That it's the only source of guidance for humanity. And that it's exact, perfect, clear, and all that. I know that. The portion, anything that Allah has revealed is truthful. I know that. So I'm satisfied with that. And if I die, not if, when I do, I'll stand before Allah and say I had hearing sight in my intellect and I used it And this is what I concluded. And if I go to hell, it's because of me, not because of you. I'm not going to go to hell because I followed you, because I needed to be in the crew with you. I needed to be a little brother, big nice masjid and all that, and y'all just sitting over here. You know, big imam and all. Look, he's big, that's how you, and you just over here. No, I'm not interested in that. No. Look, chapter 18, verse 56, 57. And we sent no messenger but as givers of good news and as warnings. And those who disbelieve contend with falsehood to weaken thereby the truth. Those who disbelieve, they're going to argue with you with falsehood to weaken the truth. They're going to try to weaken the truth with falsehood, with foolishness that they're talking. You know, brother, according to Tafsir Ibn so-and-so, and Ibn, you know, they said so-and-so, and Imam so they said, so they're going to argue with hearsay, conjecture, to weaken al-haq, the truth that you recite to them. This is the Quran. You're going to argue against this. So, brother, you don't know how to make salah. The ritual that we do, you don't know how to do that. This doesn't tell you how to do that. It says it's fully explained, detailed, and clear, and they're going to tell you that it's not, with some falsehood, to weaken the truth. You say, well, brother, maybe you're right, I got to turn away from this because you're right, I don't see how to do it there. I said, brother, you don't know what the salah that the Quran talks about is. That's your problem. You think it's that. You think you're rightly guided. You think that's what it is. You don't know. See what it is here in the Quran. And who is more just than he who is reminded of the messages of his Lord, then he turns away from them and forgets what his hands have sent forth. Surely we have placed veils on their hearts, lest they understand it, and deafness in their ears. And if thou call them to Al-Huda, they will not even never follow the right course. They won't do it. They won't do it. You call them to this Quran. You call them to the Quran. Look, brother, see if the Quran tells you something else that you should follow. At least come to the Quran. And then if the Quran tells you to go somewhere else, no problem. But you won't even come to the Quran to look. If you call them to the Huda, they're not even going to come. Brother, look, we don't care. We already know that it's not the Quran alone. We already know that. So, well, brother, come to the Huda to look. And then we don't want to hear that.
Make noise.
You see? They will never follow. In closing, because now we want to know, can we talk about anything outside of using the Quran? And so far we haven't seen it certified, nothing else. We haven't seen the Quran and. In closing, 25:30. 25, 27 to 31. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. And on the day when the wrongdoers will bite their hands, saying, would that I had taken away with the messenger. Would that we had taken away with the messenger who brought the messages. Had we taken away with them. And we followed the messenger who brought the messages. Meaning follow that. Bring us a messenger so that we follow the messages. If we had did that, woe is me. Would that I had not taken such a one for a friend. You know that brother over there, those brothers over there, that group. If I had not taken enough, you know, because there was a brother, don't go over there, don't listen to that. Don't see that brother there, stay away from him. See those brothers there, don't come around them. They just talk about this Quran alone. You see the same thing that Muhammad brought the people and all that, that's what they want. They don't like what our forefathers have introduced. You see, our Arbabs. You see, they don't like that. They just want to have one thing, the Quran alone. They just one thing. He said, I served dinner and said, look, just some soup. He said, that's all soup? You don't have nothing else? He said, brother, in this soup, there's all the nutrients and everything, nutritions and stuff that you need. Well, brother, I need to have some meat and potatoes and book and all those calories and stuff. And you look at it, you got this one thing here. You know, I'm not coming here no more. You know? And then all bloated and everything, you understand? Eating all that other stuff. Woe is me, what did I take, not taking such one for it? Surely, certainly he led me astray from the reminder. He led me astray from what? The reminder, which is the Quran. He led me away from that. The friend that I took said, brother, you know, that ain't gonna show you how to, you need this, you need to have some hadith and see all these Bukharis and stuff I got over here, these libraries and stuff. Wow, all those books. This ain't gonna, you see, you need those. So, wow, where can I get a set of those? And where can I get those? Well, you can go to Amazon.com. They led you away from the reminder. What? After it had come to me, and the devil ever deserts man. Now you don't want nothing to do with you. Yeah, boy, look, no, that ain't me. Look. And the messenger will say, my Lord, surely my people treat this Quran as a forsaken thing, mahjuran, where you get the word hijrah from. The word hijrah comes from that. When the prophet made hijrah, they say, he left and went somewhere. So you're mahjur, you left the Quran, you ran from the Quran. You made hijrah from the Quran. You abandoned, renounced the Quran. My people, this is kaum, that means race, nationality. So the messenger is saying, the Arabs abandoned the Quran. And so we have just followed them, we non-Arabs. We followed them. We're doing the same thing. Hadith and Sunnah and Tiktasi and books and all that. They abandoned and we're following them. Brother, you know, you want to be a Muslim, you have to speak Arabic. You have to eat with your right hand. You have to sit on the floor. You have to walk this way, talk this way. Boom. You have to be an Arab to be and God loves you. An Arab. Become an Arab. That's what you have to do. My people, the Arabs, have abandoned the Quran. That's what it says right there in the Quran. Not Jew. Abandoned the Quran. They abandoned it for what? Because they didn't just turn away from the Quran, they turned to something else, Hadith and Sunnah. Look at that. They turned to the Hadith and Sunnah. That's what they trust. The religion that the people are practicing, called Islam, is from the Hadith and Sunnah. It's not from the Quran. There's nothing that a Muslim does that he can find detailed in the Quran. Not one thing. Not one thing. His Shahada is not in the Quran. His Salah is not detailed in the Quran. His Hajj is not detailed in the Quran. His fasting is not detailed in the Quran. His Tawheed is not detailed. Nothing that he does is detailed in the Quran. It's fully explained in detail. It's in his other books. That's his religion. It's a religion that he made up. He made it up, and that's what he's following. That's what he's done, not from the Quran. Quran 45:6. These are the ayats, messages of Allah, which we recite to them with truth. In what hadith, Allah's answered, in what hadith will they then trust after Allah and His ayats? These are the ayats. These are the ayats. We reveal to you bil haq, truthfully, with the truth. What hadith, just name it, what will you trust after you have these ayats? What hadith you going to trust? So, brother, you know, we don't know. I mean, I keep trying to tell you, we don't know how to do the Salah. We got to find the hadith for that. We're going to trust the Bukhari. Look, the Bukhari ones, the Al-Qudsi, that's the one we got to trust. You're answering this. You're answering a lot. That's a law answer. That's a rhetorical question. It's not to be answered, yet you are answering it anyway. So, excuse me, Allah. I know that this is already you this answered, but I have to disagree. I have to disagree. I have to trust. Just name one. Anyone you name, you're against this verse right away. Anyone that you name, you're against it. And you guys in Sahih Sittah, at least 6 of them. But name any one. Just take the best one you have, Qudsi. And you're against this. And Allah said that. What hadith will you trust after Allah and His eyes? So brother, that only hadith like what you talking. No, it don't. It means hadith and not like what you talking about. Finger pointing. Look at that. Finger pointing. Finger pointing. Now's the time for finger pointing. You see? Finger pointing. You know, like I said, well, brother, you the one, and it was, you know, that kind of thing. Finger pointing. Look, 34, 31 to 33. And those who disbelieve say, we believe not in this Quran, nor in that which was before it. And if that, so Allah says, look, Allah's going to give you a look into the future because He knows everything as if it's the present. So He's telling you what's going to happen. It's going to happen. He's letting you see it now. It's like you went to see a movie and you said, where you going to see that? Well, I saw it already. He said, don't tell me what happened. Don't tell me. I could tell you what happened. So this guy here, but he took the money and he got killed over in the plane. He said, don't tell me. So Allah knows what's going to happen. And He's telling you. He's telling you, yet you still don't care. So Allah don't really know that. Look, He says, and those who disbelieve say, we believe not in this Quran, nor in that which is before it. Allah says, if thou couldst but see, when the wrongdoers are made to stand before their Lord, throwing back blame one to the other. Those who were reckoned weak, the little lay person, the average Joe, say to those who were proud, the sheikhs and the mullahs and all that, the imams, the scholars, had it not been for you, we would have been believers. We're just local guys. We came and sat down, brother, and you said, brother, listen, you know, you have to, and we listened to this, brother sheikh, mashallah, learned brother. Had it not been for, now you see him, you said, oh, this sheikh so-and-so, look, had it not been for you, we would have been believers. We would have just been in this Quran and minding what we're supposed to do. We was doing it. You took us away from that. Let me remind you. You told us we need hadith and sunnah. So, brother, you in the Quran, you can't be Quran alone. So, look, those who were proud now, they're going to come back at you. They ain't going to let you just run off of the mouth and try to pop them off. They're going to come back at you. They're going to say, those who were proud say to those who were weak, who deemed weak, did we turn you away from the guidance, Al-Huda? Did we turn you away from Al-Huda? Did we turn you away from it? After it had come to you, it already came to you. Did we turn you away from it? Nay. You yourselves were guilty. You were guilty. You wanted to be hanging out over here because you said, brother, this is where everybody come. The brother knows get the cook bar, nice Arabic. You know, everybody comes here. Over there, this is a little storefront thing. Ain't nobody over there, and the brothers over there. So you want to come over and get up under this. And those who were deemed weak, they ain't going to even let that go. They said, wait a minute, hold it. Finger point. They say to those who were proud, nay, no, I disagree. It was your plan by night and day. Look how much time you put in that. You were planning night and day. Planning night and day. When you told us to disbelieve in Allah and set up lights with Him. You told us to disbelieve this Quran alone and set up something equal with it. So, you know, the Prophet was given the Quran and something like it. Something like it. That's what the Hadith told you. And something like it. Quran is something like it. A side revelation, sidebar. Law calls, excuse me. This is just between me and you, you know. Now, and you can kick that out wherever you like. The sidebar, and put that in the Quran. They have to come to you for that. Look. By day and night when you told us to disbelieve in Allah and to set up equal with Him. And they will manifest regret when they see the chastisement and we put shackles on their necks of those who disbelieve. They will not be requited but for what they did. That's all. So you don't blame Allah for nothing. This is what you did. He ain't gonna overpower you and say, well, look why you punched me, all that stuff like that. I didn't do all that. No, we just give you for what you did. This is what you did, this is what you get. You reap what you sow. Yeah. Unlike the people of paradise, look what happens to the people in paradise. They're not gonna be doing this kind of foolishness. The people who are in paradise. Look what they're gonna do. Look what they're gonna say. Wow. Look at that. 743. Look at that. We shall remove whatever ill feeling is in their hearts. Rivers flow beneath them, and they say, Alhamdulillah, look at that. All praise is due to Allah. That's what they're going to be sitting in paradise saying. All praises is due to Allah. For what? Why does Allah do all praises? Not Allah and His messenger. Not all praises due to Allah and His messenger. All praises due to Allah. Why? Who? Allah is the one who guided us to this. He's the one who guided us to this. Not Allah and His messenger. Allah who guided us to this. And what? We would not have found the way if Allah had not guided us. Nobody else could have guided us. So, well, brother, you know, the prophet, the messenger, he could have. No. If Allah, he couldn't have guided us. So your duty is not to guide nobody. We would not have. They're in paradise. They're already in paradise now, and they're rejecting Hadith and Sunnah. They're in paradise, and they tell you they didn't need Hadith and Sunnah to get there. They said, look, we would not have. All praise to Allah who guided us to that. And we would not have found the way if Allah alone, not Allah and, Allah had not guided us, not Allah and. But look, certainly the messengers, let me mention them, what the messengers of our Lord, they're the messengers of our Lord, they brought the truth from our Lord. The messengers brought the message from our Lord. That's what they did. We didn't need them. See, they brought the truth from our Lord. Certainly the messengers of our Lord brought the truth. And it will be cried out to them, this is the God which you were made to inherit for what you did. What you did. See that? The messenger of our Lord, what they did, they brought the truth. That's what they did. Allah guided us to them. But they, on messenger of our Lord, they brought the truth. To wrap things up, what does Allah say about the Quran? Let's see what Allah says about the Quran, because that way, because we were saying, what is the source of guidance? We want to know, is this Quran, what is the attributes of this Quran? See if it's enough. Maybe it's not enough. So excuse me, brother, I need a bucket, but that one I don't think it's a lot of stuff here. I don't think that's big enough. We'll get another one. So now, you didn't look back there. We took most of the stuff out this morning. There's only a little bit left. I see, yeah, okay. So we have to see. What does it say? Look, the Quran is sufficient to guide. That's in chapter 20, verse 123. It's sufficient to guide and for guidance. The Quran is sufficient. That's what you know what the word sufficient means, right? As anybody that don't know what the word sufficient means, it means you don't need nothing else. You don't need Quran and. You don't need Quran and. That's Quran yun. It's Quran by itself. And wherever that word came from, whatever that is. We're not owning that. But that's what people say is mockery. And I'm saying, well, that's what that is. It's not, they give the lie to Allah. Look at that. The Quran is sufficient to guide. Chapter 20, verse 123. According to the Quran, the guide is Allah Himself. Chapter 10, verse 35. Everything is fully detailed that requires details in chapter 12, verse 111. Everything that requires details is detailed. Well, brother, where we find the details for Salah? I don't know what Salah you're talking about. You have to go where you got that from. Where you got that Salah from, you go there and find the details. It didn't come from here. Because the Salah in here is detailed. You have to go where you got that from. So, brother, take that back to the wall bounds. Everything is made clear that requires clarification. In chapter 16, verse 89. That's what Allah says about the Quran. The whole Quran is clear, as a matter of fact. 3669, the whole Quran. It's the best explanation. The best explanation. Ahsanul tafsir. So you don't need Tafsir Ibn Kathir, Tafsir Ibn Jari, Tafsir Tabari, and Tafsir. It's the Ahsanul tafsir. You don't need, what tafsir you need after that? You need tafsir of who? Who's Ibn Jari? You know him? Who's he? Tabari. You know him? You know the Quran, don't you? You know who Allah is, right? You know him? No. Well, Allah says He gives you the best explanation. Sets forth the best examples, Mathal, 39:27. Best examples, any example that we can give you to make the case, is the best ones. It's the best hadith. Look at that. You see, look at that. The optional hadith. No hadith needed besides that, 45:6. What hadith do you want after Allah and His ayahs? It's the best hadith. So what hadith you need to be following? Go on to somewhere else. You don't like this? You don't trust it? No, brother, it's not. It's not the best because it doesn't have all the details. What this Quran does, this hadith here, but it doesn't have all the details. You see? So how did Quran get to be hadith anyway? So, you know, the Quran is downloaded on the Prophet, and when he speaks it to you, definitely, unless he's giving you the hadith. It becomes hadith when he talks it to you. It's like you talk anything else. So, it's hadith. It's the best hadith. Look. It's the best narration. Qasas. The action of qasas. If you want a narrative about things that happened in the past, you know, has the story of Moses met you and the people of Ad and what happened. It's the best narration. It narrates to you. You don't need what's his name with the seerah and all that stuff. You don't need the seerahs and all that. It's the best narration. Contains everything needed for right guidance. Nothing omitted. Look at that. 638. That's the clincher. That there covers everything. Everything that you needed is contained in the Quran. Contained in the Quran. When Allah says He neglected nothing, that means everything is contained in this Quran that you need for right guidance. It's in here. That's what Allah says. Not me. You see, if I didn't have this and I'm just standing here saying, you know, Allah said, the brother talking crazy. What is he talking about? Well, these are the verses. These are the verses right here. You can go find them. They're right there. You're going to be in your book. Look. Explains itself. No outside source is required. 75, 16, 19. Allah says, move out your mouth to make haste with it. We recite it. And when we recite it, you follow it. And we collect it. We make it clear. Don't you try to do none of that. You see? And in chapter 12, verse 1 to 3. Taught by Allah Himself. 55, 1 to 2. Nobody have to teach you the Quran. Allah teaches the Quran. All you have to do is study and read it and ponder it. Talk about Him. Look at that. Maybe something is missing that you say, well, it didn't say this. What thing is not missing? Make a note. Page 28 so we can know. Look at that. 28, 85 to 88. He who has made the Quran binding on thee, you see, fard, the Quran is fard, obligatory, fard upon you, will surely bring you back to a place of return. Say, my Lord knows him who best, my Lord best knows him who brought the guidance and him who is in manifest error. Allah knows him who has brought al-Huda, that means the Quran, and He knows those who are the al-Mubin. The people who don't follow the Quran. The people who are not following the Quran by itself are Dalal Mubin. It manifests. It's clear. You don't have to guess now. It's clear that they're error.
Excuse me. What? When you said the best explanation, what does that mean?
That means that if somebody has to explain something to you like what I'm doing now, God does it the best. Very good. Good question. We have to accept that. And have them wait. Yes. Good question, my brother. I love it. Look at that. He who has made the Quran binding on thee will surely bring you back to a place of return and say, my Lord knows best. Those who brought the guidance, the people who bring the guidance, is the people who come to bring in only this Quran. And He knows the people who the law will be. He says the law will be clearly astray. Because there's no problem. You don't have no problem. I said, brother, you're not following the Quran? Oh, clearly you're straight. And we don't have to guess. I don't care what you say you're following. It doesn't matter. If you're following something other than the Quran for your salvation guidance, if you want to use the term to get back to paradise, you are the law mubin. Simple as that. Very clear. There's no problem. And thou didst not expect that the book, Al-Kitab, would be inspired, cast to thee. But it is a mercy from thy Lord, so be not of the back up of the disbelievers. And let them not turn thee aside from the messages of Allah. Telling the prophet, Don't let them turn you aside from the ayats of law. These are the ayats of law we revealed. What hadith do you want after that? Don't go to no hadith, nothing. From the messages of Allah. After they have been sent down, revealed to thee, and call men to thy Lord, call them to Allah, and be not of the mushrikeen. Don't be of the people who don't like that, who don't like this Quran alone. Don't be called to Allah alone, not Allah and. Call to Allah, not Allah and. He's telling the messenger. Don't call to Allah and the messenger. He's the messenger. Call to Allah. That's what it means. That's the whole gist of it. We'll talk about that when we talk about obeying Allah and obeying the messenger in one of the talks we have there. And we'll get that straight. Look. And call not with Allah another God. Because anything you call with Allah automatically becomes a God. It's a God. Anything you call in along with Allah, Allah is the God. If you call it something along with Him, that's another God. Who are you going to call? You're not going to call a regular person. You know, you can call it, you know, here come the military, come in here, surround SWAT team and all that, and you can call your grandmother. Grandma, come help me. You can call your grandmother. Grandma, the military is here, SWAT team and all that, come up. And you, son, what's going on? I need your help. It's the same kind of foolishness. You know, anybody you call, you have elevated them to the state of a God. Even if it's your own self, your Lord, they take their own selves as God besides Allah. We're not just talking, we've already rehearsed these topics in our discussion here. We know what we're talking about here, so we can sit down and discuss these. It's not just off the top of our head. You see? Everything will perish but He. His is the judgment, and to Him you will be brought back. Quran 34:24. Say, who gives you sustenance from the heavens and the earth? Say, Allah. And surely we or you are on right guidance or the law mubin. Look at that. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Either we, who talk about the Quran alone and the law alone and Al-Huda, is on right guidance, or we're the law mubin. Either we or you. One of us. So if you want to talk about Allah and something else, and we want to talk about only Allah, then one of us is on right guidance, and one is the law being clear. Clear root of being. That's the end of that topic. Right there. We're going to take a break from that. Anybody have